how challenging it can be to run for office, especially for the first time. But we've also heard how rewarding it can be, because it can be an extension of work that one is already doing in the community, the building of trusted relationships and an understanding of the texture of different neighborhoods and so forth. Now, what also helps in this age is that technology is democratizing this whole process and removing barriers to entry. It used to be that you had to kind of know the right people in the right room and get their blessing in order to run. But now all kinds of new tech platforms and tools are enabling people to say, you know what, I can just raise my hand and participate and show up. One of these platforms is called Nation Builder. Let's hear from the founder of it.
Today, civic engagement isn't just voting or saying yes to jury duty. The new civic engagement is running for office.
Yeah, that's right. And Nation Builder happens to be a for-profit company, but they have these totally free online courses on how to run for office. And they're not alone. There are these other organizations like candidatebootcamp.com, runforoffice.org, runforsomething.net, another one called She Should Run. They're sprouting up all over the place, and in different local groups and community party organizations, there are trainings happening all the time for this new surge and wave of newcomers who's expressing an interest in running. When you go to any of these sites, whether it's their free courses or otherwise, there are great detailed tools, all kinds of ways in which you can, for instance, fill out these different worksheets at Candidate Bootcamp. Am I ready to run? I'm thinking about running for this. What do I know about the office? What do I need to know? Or over here, how to run for office, literally a tick-tock of, in this case, Election Day, what you got to do that morning. And for things that precede Election Day, how you organize people, how you mobilize money, how you reach out to the right folks and think about your message and even the nuts and bolts of getting campaign signs and the rest. These tools are democratizing the work of running for office in a way that's transformative right now. Now, at the beginning when we talked about civics, we said that it consists of three elements: values, systems, and skills. And all those tools and worksheets that I was showing you a moment ago really get to the systems and the skills pieces here. The operations, the machinery and the mechanics of running for office and building a campaign. The skills of knowing how to mobilize people and money and ideas and allies to do that. And that's important. But one thing that goes without saying, and in fact actually has to be at the beginning of this entire process, is this. What are your values? Are you actually clear on why you're running? For whom? To what ends? What is the moral agenda that animates you? And being able to know that in yourself, but also to articulate it with others, is so central if you're even thinking about running for office. The values piece is important in every aspect of civic life. Now, as we think about this whole ecosystem of civic life, there are, besides running for office, all these different things that we do, of course. We vote. We activate and we organize our neighbors in different ways. We think about what it means to educate people on different issues and ideas. And then we build these circles of mutual trust and obligation at the neighborhood level and on different issues. And all this work connects one to the other in building this rich and dynamic civic ecosystem. And that is the work of actually understanding and making civics real and textured and just about how we show up together every day in civic life. Throughout the rest of this season, we're going to be talking about all these elements of civic life and what is civics. But I want to leave you today with this central role of running for office and thinking about what it means actually to put yourself in the role of the decider, to raise your hand and say, I'm not just going to observe or influence that question, I'm going to insert myself right into it. That is what we've been talking about today. Well, in every episode, we love to leave time for social media questions, to hear your thoughts and ideas about civic issues of the day. And so we've got a couple of great ones right now. This first one from Sue on Facebook says, I'm fresh out of seeing Hamilton, the great musical that's out there, hip-hop musical about Alexander Hamilton and the revolutionary generation. What are your most compelling takeaways from that musical civics lesson? Rise up, immigrants, we get the job done, history has its eyes on you. Those are, of course, great songs from the musical, and they're about the activation of a generation that wants to make change, about really creating a culture of inclusion that says, hey, immigrants bring talent and they're not just here to take stuff away from the country. And this idea that there are moments, pivot points in history where we choose to show up or not. Well, for me, the most compelling takeaway from that musical and from that whole soundtrack is a different song, which is called The Room Where It Happens. The room where it happens, this closed-door room where deals get made, where the sausage gets made. All of this is about so much of the elements of politics and power that on this show, we try to throw open and democratize. We're trying to take knowledge that used to belong only to people in the room where it happens, only those insiders and cronies, and throw it open in ways that allow us, all of us, to say, you know what, I can step into that room, I can own that room and claim that room. And so that song and the musical speaks to me because that's so much of the work that we're trying to do here. The next question actually comes from Michael on Facebook, and it's a great one, a deep one actually. How do we foster a culture of collaboration and cooperation in civic life, rather than buying into the idea that we're all competing with each other? Now you look at this question and you think, oh, that's so naive. Politics is all about dog eat dog and competing. Well, yes and no. I happen to know that Michael is a teenager, and I think his generation is part of a sea change that's happening in civic life right now. That it's not just about zero-sum competitions. That's people who have been raised in a digital age that is mutual, that is connected, that is communal, saying how can we make win-wins and positive-sum outcomes in our politics. That's what the Parkland students are doing in Florida who are organizing around gun responsibility. That's what these 4 Republican teenagers in Kansas are doing who are running for governor in that state. A whole new generation is coming up that gives me great hope. And so our work is to foster that young generation, add rocket fuel to their new ways of approaching politics so that they can save our culture and help us raise our sights to the better angels of our nature. Well, we hope that you'll actually keep on communicating with us. Send us your ideas and your thoughts. You can reach us all these different channels and ways on social media or through our email address here at the Seattle channel. And we hope we'll hear from you on these issues and others. And that wraps this episode of Citizen University TV. As we think about these broader questions of who decides and what it means to run for office, think about the deeper thing. What is civics? How do we build civic life together? We'll be spending more time on that question together in future episodes, but today, I hope you'll think about what we've learned and share it with your friends, family, and neighbors. I'm Eric Liu. Thanks for watching.